So, good morning, everyone. Um, Today we're going to do a yoga class on the chair, but we're gonna do it's a little bit more slow. And the reason is that I have had a back injury this weekend. Somehow it just got into my lower back, and it's the physio said that I had some issues with my fibers on the back side of my vertebrae. So it means that we have to, adjust accordingly. And since I'm teaching this class, I'm going to feel into it. And there's a couple of movements that we can do to work on the lower back. So it's something that might be helpful for everybody that is sitting behind a computer or does seated work. And I was told to do a lot of walking, but sometimes I'm just not able to because I have to finish some work. So either standing and doing your work, or maybe just taking more breaks could already be a good reason or a good solution. I also have this rolled up towel, and I will use it to sit on, even though my chair is it's straight, but it has a little indent. So sitting on this towel can be helpful. I don't know that I have to use it all the time, but I'm gonna just try it out. Having said all this, we're going to do a couple of movements just for the lower back and for the upper body. We try to do some stretches for the legs as well, and all of that might help to release or relieve some pressure on the lower discs. So having said that, bringing your hands to your knees, you can just come into a seated straight position. So not hanging in the lower back, not slouching forwards, just trying to lift the crown of your head up and activating this core a little bit, pulling the belly in slightly, dropping the shoulders down. So this is our starting position. And just notice how you are doing right now. How are you doing in your body, for example? Is there anything that you need to be considerate about? You never know how you wake up, but you can work your way through it and be mindful. So closing your eyes for a moment, finding that breath, just to center yourself, to bring yourself here in this moment. Just dropping all the tasks that you might have to do when this class finishes. So bringing your intention towards this class, placing the hands on top of each other. And we'll start like we do a lot of the times when sitting, with this breath and breathing in and taking the hands out, trying to bring your breath towards the lower back, and on an exhale, bring those hands together again. Make a fist of the top palm, bring those palms up towards your diaphragm and inhale. Let the belly come out, breathing into your lower back and exhale. Just make yourself or your breath audible. You can really listen to it, especially when you exhale. Breathing in and exhale. So I'm really activating at my core. I feel if I press it, that it's hard. Breathe in, make it soft. Breathing into the lower belly, the lower back, exhale. And taking the hands forward. But I'm trying to keep my lower back straight. So I'm not going to go any further forward. This is still good for me. And on the exhale, I lean back a little bit, activate the core. And this is all still in between the parameters that I like to move. If I do a little bit more, if I go a little bit further forward, just keep on moving with me. It starts to hurt. So try to move within the range of motion. And exhale. So a lot of the movements that we're doing right now, we've done in other classes as well. So there's nothing much different. So you can see that this is already all beneficial to any lower back issues. Last time coming forwards, and the repetition is also very good. Bringing the hands together, making a mild twist. So it's also along the way, coming forward, taking the hands up, that I'm learning myself how to move. It's a bit of an intuitive class today, breathing in and out, twisting to the right sides, and just keep on moving with me, making those repetitive movements. Notice how your core is working with you. So let's stay to the right, twisted to the right, holding on to the outside of the chair with your right hand behind you. Breathe in and making a mild twist. It's all still doable. Obviously, if you experience a little bit more pain or annoyance, then just be a bit more mindful. Try to go a little bit less deep. Never push it beyond limits. Last exhale. Holding it a little bit. Let's stay here a little bit longer. So you go to the maximum that still feels good. Try to relax into this twist. Breathe your way through it. Maybe notice that you can go a little bit further, but always without hurting yourself. Just notice where you're looking at with your eyes, and maybe you can bring your gaze a little bit further. Last exhale again. Coming forward with your hands up. Exhale, hands in front. Twist towards the left. Stay here. Hold on to the outside and the back of the chair. Breathe in, lengthen. Twist. Maybe on an inhale, move a little bit further back so you create more space. And exhale. One more time, breathing in. And exhale, and let's hold it there at the end. Just notice where you feel it. Just give your body a bit of time here to recognize what you're doing, to feel safe enough to relax a little bit further into it. For the last exhale, maybe let your eyes or your gaze go a little bit further to the left. Hold or letting go of the chair, coming forward again, but keep that back straight. Breathe in, take your hands up. And one more time, just coming back, elbows past your ribs. And then place your hands onto your knees. And we're going to do the cow and cat movement. Now, if I come forward and I arch my spine, make it hollow, so to speak, I can only go this far. And when I round it, there's going to be tension on the back of my vertebrae, or vertebrae. So only this is feeling good. So just notice whether you can take your chin to the chest a little bit further. This can already intensify the sensation. So just be careful, breathe and open up your chest. And exhale. So if you have no back injuries, then you can just go a little bit deeper. Breathe in. And out. But use your breath with that movement. Breathing in. And out. Breathing in. And out. And let's stay here for a moment. And maybe 30 seconds. You can press your heels into the floor. You can pull your belly in slightly. Maybe drop the chin towards the chest or just see how far it goes. Relax your jaws. My hands are just holding on to the front of my knees. So it also is something that I can hold on to so that I don't fall back. So for me, this is the maximum, but I keep pressing my heels into the floor. Last couple of breaths here. Exhale to your deepest. So also feeling a little bit of a stretch between the shoulder blades. And then on an inhale, come forward. But also here, this is quite a lot of stress on the vertebrae. We've seen this diagram which says that when you stand, it's like 100% load on the vertebrae. But seated, it can go up to 165 or even more. Sitting behind a computer or even driving. It's really not that good for our lower back. But just see whether we can open up the chest, leaning into it a little bit more. Maybe you can bend your elbows and come a little bit further forward. And just stay here for a moment. What do you feel? Last couple of breaths here. So I'm really arching my spine, pushing my buttocks back, but only that far that it still feels good. And then slowly come and sit up straight. So for this next movement, I already had it here, my rolled up towel. I'm gonna sit on it properly. Just to help myself with sitting upright for the next movement, it's gonna be the knee to the chest. And we're gonna create a couple of circles here. Inside out and outside in. It can be a different sensation and you just have to find your way through it. So just keep your focus with yourself. Keep that breath alive. Can you pull that knee up a little bit more and open up your chest, pull your belly in slightly. Just hold it here for a moment. Again, just hold it for around 30 seconds. Just breathe deep into the lower belly, to the lower back. You could make some circles with your feet or with your foot. Just open up that ankle joint whilst we're at it. Last couple of breaths. All right. So whilst we are here, we can move on to the next pose. And that is placing the right foot on top of the left knee. So this is more of a hip opener. It's addressing the piriformis, but it's a really important muscle for the lower back as well. So placing the hands on the knees, we're going to combine a couple of different things. So it's a hip opener, but before we go further down, we're going to do that cow and cat movement again. So breathing and opening up, exhale, rounding the spine. Inhale, opening up. Exhale, rounding the spine. And maybe if you're also a back problem person, you might notice that it helps to place a blanket or rolled up towel underneath your sitting bones. Breathing in deep and out. And then let's see whether we can keep our back straight. And from the lower hips, we're going to tilt forwards. Maybe you keep that foot flexed, that the toes point straight forwards. Some people maybe like it to point the toes to the side, but for me, this really feels better, more safe. And I'm just trying to find the right angle here to, feel it in my right buttocks, my lower back. So now this is really a good angle for me, and I'm going to stay here. And you can maybe come even further forward. Some of you might just drop down. You've got such open hips that this is really nice. So find your own version here. Maybe close your eyes for a moment and relax your jaws again, your lips, your tongue. It's always when you feel tension, you have the tendency to clench the jaws. Try to relax. Try to listen to the beautiful sounds of your breath. So I also notice that now I can already go a little bit further forward, but I'm trying to not slouch or arch my spine or round it. I try to keep it straight. Just a little bit longer. Just notice that stretch building up, but in a good way. Still not painful. For the last breath here. All right, slowly come up again. You can gently place that foot down, maybe shake it out a little bit. And let's go to the other side. So you can bring those hands to your knee. Bring it up. Maybe start to rotate first to see what kind of range of motion you have going on in your body right now. So just enjoy the process of deepening the movements and just change it every now and then. You're gonna go inside out, maybe outside in. Now let's pull that knee towards our chest. Or maybe you want to pull the knee a little bit further out. Some of you might like this further out more. It might have to do with how your hip bone or the shape is of your hip socket. So if your hip bone is pressing against your upper thigh, you don't like it, maybe your knee can go out a little bit further. But try to sit up straight. Keep on breathing through it. Just a couple more breaths. And just enjoy the silence. If you're alone, maybe you've got some nice music on. And then let's hold on to that left foot. Bring it towards the right knee. And you can even like move a little bit from left to right. And you can just swing if that's something that might help you, or maybe you feel like, hey, this is really working for me. I can feel something here. I notice that I have to be a little bit careful, but I'm just going to explore a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right. Coming back to the middle here now with your hands resting on your knee and foot. You open up your chest, exhale around the spine, gently deepening it without feeling any pain. So that's really the thing that you have to pay attention to, that it doesn't hurt, that you're just working in a safe zone. Now with my back pain, if I bring my chin a bit more to the chest, that is really intensifying the sensation that I feel in the lower back. So I have to be a little bit careful. So maybe normally I would be a bit more expressive here, but this is fine. For me, this is really good. All right, so let's go to a more static way. So we're going to try to keep the spine straight. Maybe I'm activating my core slightly. I'm pulling my belly in and I'm trying to move forward. So notice how that intensifies the stress or the situation in your left buttocks, in this case, your piriformis. And stay here. Relax, maybe place your arms in a more relaxed way on top of your leg. Can you go back to your breath and listen to it again? Maybe close your eyes and just observe. This is also a really good moment for you to realize what is alive inside of you right now. You can't manipulate it. There will be thoughts that are very dominant. Now just accept it. It's just what needs to be seen. So then it becomes a more of a mindfulness kind of practice, whilst we're really working on the tissue, the fascia, the muscles here. So knowing that this is already getting attention, we can also address the inner world, the inner landscape, so to speak. And obviously you can do this way longer than we're doing right now. For the last couple of breaths, and just notice how you're already moving a little bit further forward, how you've already gained space here, you've opened up. Last exhale. All right, slowly coming up again. Maybe shaking those legs out. You can just place your feet on the floor and do it like this. Move your knees inside and outside. So we could do this hamstring stretch, but I've already tried this before we started this class. And if I go straight forward, it's really intense. I can't do it. If you can bring your foot straight forward and you can try to hold on to your knee. What I'm going to do is just to bring that foot a little bit out. And then trying to keep my back straight. I can come a bit forwards. I have to twist slightly. I keep my knee bent. Now this might not be really a super nice forward bend for many people with back issues, but if you do it controlled, like I'm doing right now, I'm just trying things out. And I notice that if I do it slightly different, it starts to hurt. So now I'm just finding my way. Maybe I can hold on to that foot or the toes. And of course, I'm feeling this stretch here in the hamstring. So I'm still able to address it. Even though if I would do this standing, I would not be able to. And now I've found my version, and you might be able to straighten that leg completely. You might be able to bring both hands forward and have your hips way more pointed towards your foot. Try out that variation that fits you right now, as long as you start to feel it on the back of your left leg. Maybe you have to pull your belly in slightly. For the last couple of breaths here, but keep your breath nice and long. If you go too fast, it's just less effective. So you can just breathe in and out slowly, especially that exhale through the nose, a long hissing sound. Relaxed face, relaxed jaws. Slowly coming up again, also getting out of a pose slowly, don't rush it, and then go to the other side. So again, going straight in, that's not a good idea. It's really about trying to find the right angle, which I'm doing right now. So either you have your legs straight and you go with both hands towards your foot, or you do it like me, you take that leg out a little bit. And I'm just trying to also maybe twist a little bit. I can't even reach my toes at this moment, so that's fine. I'm just working with what I can do. I'm gonna feel it a little bit more in my hamstrings right now. And then we're gonna stay here. Just give it some time. Breathe through it. At this point, I can hold on to my toes, obviously with my knees slightly bent, but that's fine. I still have that hamstring stretch here. So it is really not true that you need to be able to have your legs straight to have an effective stretch. As long as you try to not round the spine too much, keep it straight, coming from the lower hips. For the last couple of breaths here. One more, taking a nice deep inhale and exhale. Slowly coming back up. I'm still sitting on my towel here. I'm holding on to the right side, to the right seat. I'm going to take that left hand up, pushing the left hip down, reaching the left hand over my head. Just creating a nice side stretch all the way over the left side. Of course, you can also bring your right hand to the left and do it like this, or I'd like this. Let's just, maybe you can just rest your arm. Yeah, I can press my elbow into my upper leg. Maybe just bounce a little bit. You can really feel it in a nice way. I'm trying out all these different versions, really. And let's try the other side. First inhale, take that hand up. Gently going to the left side in this case. Now I'm trying to let my elbow rest against the backrest. It's also a good way to support. Inhale, coming up a little bit, pressing those feet firmly down, keep the back straight. Trying out a couple of different varieties. Reaching up first, pressing the right hip down whilst taking the right hand up and then towards the other side. Maybe just resting. Last couple of breaths here. Exhale. Slowly coming back up. Taking the chin to the chest, up, back, and down. And also this, just do it gently. Making the last couple of circles here for your neck. Breathing in when you go up, out when you go down. Going to the other side. Breathing in when you go up, out when you go down. Maybe holding your head in a certain angle. Sometimes you feel there's some tension going on in a certain part of your neck. And by just holding your head in that angle and breathing towards it, you can give the body some time to really relax it. Maybe then continue your way for the last couple of rounds. And hearing all these cracks, don't worry about it. It's just perfectly normal to hear some sounds coming back to the middle. And the last thing we do is just to bring the shoulders to the ears. Hold it and exhale. Let's do it 2 more times. Breathe in and out. Last time, breathe in deep and out. So just take a moment to notice how you feel right now. And if you are dealing with back issues, just notice that these are movements that you can do. There's many other things that you might be able to do, but do it mindfully. Take more breaks, start walking, just move a little bit more. Maybe stand when you work instead of sitting. Don't drive the car too long. Just a lot of things that maybe make sense anyway. So having said that, I wish you a very nice continuation of your day and see you next time. Namaste.